million partners. I suggest you call my lawyer. I know the procedure. I suggest you call my lawyer. I know the procedure. I suggest you call my lawyer. I know the procedure. I suggest you call my lawyer. I know the procedure.
Got lawyers watching lawyers, so I won't go broke. Got lawyers watching lawyers, so I won't go broke. Got lawyers watching lawyers, so I won't go broke. Got lawyers watching lawyers, so I won't go broke.
Oh, man.
Watching lawyers, so I won't go broke.
Yeah.
When you hear this song, you all know what time it is. Welcome back to the Sports Shop, man. DL Reese in the building, rocking with the lovely talent, Pamela Smith the Fern.
Good morning.
But hey, we hit that kind of intro. You already know. And today's in with his he always coming with his bow tie.
With his bow tie, yes.
Got his fedora right here, sitting right here on the table, man.
Work, baby.
I know, man. Get it in. GRW Law's in the building, doing our monthly deal. Good morning, brother. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing?
Morning.
How are we doing this morning?
Man, how's your summer been, man?
It's been good. A little bit of traveling, a lot of working.
No, a little bit of traveling.
Here and there.
I think you do a lot of traveling, brother. A little bit of traveling. This brother here, man.
You take the whole summer off?
I get tired just watching him. I follow him on social media. I'm tired.
Well, we can just live through him.
Trust me.
That's what I do.
Pam, actually, that's what I do.
Because
is that what
we
we
ain't
do?
seen no water.
I said only to be Greg.
Yes.
It's this is the epitome of what life should be all about. So there you go.
It's hard work. Somebody got to do it.
Somebody got to do it. Yes,
Let's
somebody
jump
got to
into it. We talked to this guy about all sorts of things, business of sports, litigation of sports, and several things are happening. And again, I teed it up a little bit, Greg, saying that they talked about this first, second, third apron. I don't know how many aprons they got. The only thing I knew about aprons was something you use when you cook something. So
Right, sound like a
I
bunch
got
of
4
chefs.
now.
You got a bunch of chefs getting together.
Exactly. So I really wanted you to spend a few minutes and just explain what is it as it relates to the NBA.
Okay, so it all evolves around the salary cap.
Okay.
So the NBA salary cap is essentially designed to create parity in the NBA.
Gotcha.
If you think about it, I think there's been 7 different NBA champions over the last 8 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
That's a function of the salary cap.
So they want dominant teams. What they want? They don't want to have like several different teams every year. I mean, different teams every year.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they want. The parity and the way the salary cap is designed. At a certain point, it becomes too expensive to keep your super teams together.
A case in point, they even look at Boston and what's going where they're going. There's several other teams, but
right? Okay. Boston, Milwaukee, Phoenix. You kind of see teams start dumping salary at a certain point. Mm-hmm. And this can get very deep into the weeds. So we'll just keep it very general here.
Okay.
But in summary, there's a salary cap in the NBA, which means teams they can't go above that salary cap.
Right.
The first level is a soft cap. It's $154 million. Between there and the luxury tax is set at $187 million. So once teams exceed that $187 million in annual salary, they start having penalties. Some of it's financial. You hear about teams being in the luxury tax every year, like the Warriors during their run.
Right.
They were in the luxury tax almost every year. Now, when you get to the first apron, that's when it starts getting punitive. You start having some real damages for being above the first apron. So at the first apron, teams they can't do a sign and trade deal if it keeps them above the apron. So if they're above the apron,
they can't do it.
They do a sign and trade, and that player's salary keeps them above the apron. They can't do the trade. The salaries. So a lot of people think that trades in the NBA is based on talent. You trade this player for this player based on skill set.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's based on contracts. So typically, what happens is teams try to match a contract. So if they have a player making $30 million a year, they may package 3 players together whose salary is $30 million, and then they offset the contracts. So one of the penalties of the first apron is the players' salaries have to be within 110% of each other for the trade to work. So you can
110%.
110% of the player's salary.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
If you're not in the luxury tax, it's 125%. So you've got more room. You see what I'm saying? So you've got more space to play around with the salary.
Got it.
If you're at the first apron, you can only exceed by 10% rather than 25%. So, and you can't sign a player. So if a player gets waived during the season and their salary is above the mid-level exception, which is $14 million, they can't sign for that player if you're at the first level. So basically you got the salary cap, you got the luxury tax, then you got the first apron. And it gets progressively more limiting.
Okay.
Yeah, so if let's say a player was waived during the season and he makes $16 million a year.
Right.
That's more than the mid-level exception. So a team at the first apron can't sign for that guy.
See, I mean,
This
even you talking about it just makes me like, what?
So is there any hope for Damian Lillard? Any hope?
Well, the right team can get him, but the other side of that is you saw Milwaukee waive him.
Right.
They're getting rid of that salary.
So they don't have to carry that on their books anymore.
Right. Boston did the same thing.
Yeah.
With Drew Holiday and Porzingis.
Yeah, that's why they freed up some money because of that. Or they won't get penalized because they kept those guys.
Right.
And talk about that. So when you that's huge penalties associated when you violate or whatever.
Because it basically restricts your ability to your roster moves. It's a business concept, but it affects the on-court product.
Got it.
So it's kind of designed to give teams a 4-year window, 5-year window to try to go for it. And then if it doesn't work, they blow it up and start over. So you kind of see teams, take that route.
Okay.
Then the second apron is even more. No, so if a team exceeds $207 million in salary, then you can't aggregate salaries of players to make a trade work. They have no access to the mid-level exception. They can't involve cash in a trade. Sometimes you hear about a trade, cash and a pick.
Cash and a pony or something like that.
That's how I got rid of mine.
Hey, back in the ABA, let's do a cash pony and a gift card.
Right. So it's like you get 2 picks,
We've come a long way, y'all.
2 second-round picks plus cash.
Cash, yeah.
We've come a long way.
So
I do want to just pause and I want you to hear Draymond Green, who kind of chimed in on this whole apron thing. And get you to comment on that on the other side. Let's take a listen. No, I can't hear it.
He won't be able to hear it.
Okay. No, that's a good point.
Just play it real loud.
Play it real loud. There you go.
The Celtics also traded Kristaps Porzingis. Listen, this is all about the second apron. People said they didn't want super teams anymore. Well, here you have it. All these moves are being made to dodge that second apron. It's a hard cap. You lose draft picks. You lose the mid-level exception. You lose roster spots. You lose the ability to get better and compete as a team. And the amount of money that you lose is insane. And when I said this, before the deal was signed, this is ridiculous and it's going to hurt players in the end. No one wanted to listen and everybody wanted to act like the PA was making a great deal. The PA made a shit deal, as the PA has done for years now. And every year, the pot gets bigger and the business gets better and the players get screwed more. That's just how this business works. Back to the Boston Celtics. That's what all of these moves are about, people. That's why they got rid of Porzingis. That's why they got rid of
one thing about Draymond, you always have to wonder where he's coming from. You never know exactly what's on his mind.
Right, because I was trying to figure out where he's going. Yeah, okay.
But no, Draymond tells you exactly how he feels. And that's exactly what I was talking about.
Okay.
That it's designed to restrict wealthy teams from just overspending and just building a dominant team that a small market team, like the Hornets, can't compete with.
Right.
And it's all of these deals. They always have unintended consequences. Like you have say a mid-level exception for veterans at $14 million. Well, it's designed to protect veterans and allow them to make more money as they have built the league and. They deserve to kind of take part in the growth. But it gives the team an option. Well, rather than signing this person for $14 million, let's go get 3 younger guys at the $4 million each.
Right.
So there's always the unintended consequences of these decisions. But in short, it's designed to keep teams from outspending teams that can't compete. And one of the most penal things about the second apron is the team's future picks are frozen for 7 years. So
how many years?
7.
Woo.
So, like, if their first round picks are frozen for the next 7 years, so if you're at the second apron, your first round picks for 7 years are frozen. So you can't trade them. You can't include them in a trade. And then if you're in the second apron 3 out of 5 years, your first round pick goes to the end of the round. So you may be a team that has the worst record in the league,
right,
or lottery eligible, but because you've been on the second apron 3 out of 5 years, instead of you being a lottery pick, you're picking at the end of the first round. So it's it's all designed
it's just designed for the owners to get control of the players in terms of we're gonna run this and you're not gonna run this, so to speak, in terms of the relationship between the owners and the players, or
no, it's really I think the overarching goal is to create parity and give small market teams a chance, and to keep a wealthy team from just quote unquote trying to buy
the
a championship.
Lakers and the Celtics and things like that.
And the teams that really have the issues are the super teams with the 3 stars.
Yeah,
they have the 3 max players.
Yeah.
Well, you can do that for a couple of years, but at a certain point, it just becomes we're mortgaging our future trying to win now. Now, if you get a championship or 2, maybe it's worth it.
Right.
But if not, you may be in a perpetual.
Because Phoenix was another team that was
right
there with Booker, and it had KD there, and it had Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal, correct.
Yeah. That's why they had to start moving people.
Right. So now KD's gone.
KD's gone. Right.
So you see this with some of these teams, but a team like OKC who has for the most part their players that they drafted, they'll have the ability to compete for. Their window is probably a bit larger than other teams to try to acquire a team.
Wow.
And it's also designed for teams to keep their players. So if you draft a player and that player turns out to be a great player, MVP caliber player, the salary cap is designed for the team that drafted him to be able to keep him. They can always pay him more than he can get going someplace else. And again, that's to protect say a small market team like the Hornets, from drafting a great player, and then this other team, the Knicks or the Heat or
come and get
LA, we're going to come to get you. So if he goes there, he's going to have to take a pay cut.
Wow.
Yeah, so my question would be, the Apron 1 and April 2, does it change per season, or is this?
Yeah, it's all part of the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement. So it increases every year, and I think it increased 10% over last year. So and the teams kind of know what that apron is. It comes out like July 1st, which is beginning of the next business year. So they know the moves they have to make.
So Pam, you had a question about the Apron 1 and Apron 2? You asked that question like you know what the hell you're talking about.
I do.
She said Apron 1, Apron 2.
I'm like, wow, look at Pam. Anytime you have any questions, I know because I know you follow these things all the time. You be on it, your generation.
A-Town was in Boston. Isn't he a Boston fan?
No,
absolutely not.
Absolutely not. That's me. He is a New York fan.
That's right.
Any questions from the producers?
His guy left $100 million on the table.
Who's that?
Brunson.
That's right.
To avoid apron issues.
So tell me. Let's talk about that real quick. Explain that, because I heard that yesterday and I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so he essentially, if he had taken the max money he was able to take,
right,
then it may have. I don't know if it would have put them which apron it would have put them in.
Okay,
but
so he's helping the Knicks. He helped the Knicks by doing that, or helped himself?
No, he didn't help himself. He cost himself some money, and he also, again, we talk about unintended consequences. This was put in place so that players could get their max salaries.
Wow.
So you have a player say, no, I don't want the max salary. I'm going to take less so my team won't get penalized.
So, and I'm not sure you saw this yet, and not, you don't have to worry about the Joker told Denver that he declined the extension this year.
I saw that. He's going to wait till next year.
Next year. And I think it's a difference of $77 million or something like that.
Yeah, because it's going to go up. each
Okay.
year.
Right.
You know, so they'll be able to offer him more money next year, or he may be able to get more money. But it's
You talk like you're an agent, man.
Were you his lawyer?
in my former life.
That's what I get ready to say. And speaking of, again, we talk to GRW Law, man. He rock with us each and every once a month. He comes in with all sorts of stuff. Man, we get comments saying this is great info, by the way.
Yes,
Chief. People
yes.
love it.
Thank you.
But
you.
let's segue in the form of like, this guy is a Renaissance man. He played basketball. He was a big time investment guy. But at one point, and this was he should have flashbacks during this time of the year. Summer League, big time Summer League starting up in Vegas tomorrow.
Right.
Man, Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper, and all
Brian Brown.
yeah, Brian and Brown, Conker, everybody's gonna be out there.
Mm-hmm.
But several years ago, how many years ago was it?
We ain't gonna say that out loud.
Oh, okay.
It was a
This guy
few.
to my left was formerly in a former life an NBA official. This guy right here. That's why I know so much about it. So I'm sitting there watching. I had just met him. I ain't really know him, but I knew him. I'm sitting there watching ESPN, and you got to tell the story real quick. I'm setting it up. ESPN had the Summer League going on, and something crazy happened, and all of a sudden, a big close-up of Greg right here on ESPN. I said, hell, that's Greg. That's Greg. What the hell is going on? So tell the story where you officiating during the Summer League NBA.
Yeah, so I started refereeing in probably 06, 07.
Okay.
And then 2009, I went to the tryout for the D League, and I got invited to do Summer League. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go to law school. So,
Yeah.
I'll just go.
That's that's what I'm saying. This dude here, man.
I'll just go and see what happens.
Right.
So I go, and we're in Orlando at that time.
Okay.
And it was the weekend of the decision.
2 minutes, yeah.
So I was there at Summer League during the decision.
So wait a minute. So it's literally 15 years ago. Yeah, because the season, the season anniversary yesterday. But anyway.
So we're there and working games, and I think the situation you're talking about is I ran into a cameraman.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. He was too far. I was the new lead, running down court.
Yeah, they had to knock the guy over.
And as a
he was in the way.
He was in the way.
Yeah.
You as a ref, you never run with your back to the player.
Right.
You're looking back.
Right.
So when I hit him, and Rick Mahorn was commentating the game.
Rick Mahorn went off.
He loved it. He was that's my kind of ref.
That's bad boy for
You
life.
want to fight?
Yeah, I may have given him a little shoulder, a little bam.
And the crazy part, how he talked about it for a little while. Then when they went to break, they showed the clip of it. But Greg running the guy over. I said, Greg, get all of this doggone camera time, man. But that
was
had been a
blast.
great experience, though.
It was. And every time I watch Summer League, I look at those guys out there, and because they're all trying to make it to the NBA.
Yeah.
And it's a very intense. It's not like you show up and ref the game. It's 3-hour film sessions.
Wow.
And, you work your game, then you watch the other games, and it's very intense. It's a very intense week, but I loved it. It was a great experience.
We got to watch out because this clip gets out, and he may still be hurt or something. He might come back and sue the lawyer.
Statute of limitations.
He was a lawyer then.
Right. Contributory negligence. He was in the wrong spot.
Look at that. He dropping them bars. Hey, man, we appreciate you getting us updated, educated, man. GRW Law.
Yeah.
I mean, GRW, that's law, if you will.
Right,
man.
right.
And .com.
Purpose-driven service.
This guy, as you can tell, he's a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Reach out to him. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so
I
much.
see you rocking that gold on too,
thank
baby.
you. That's right. I want this just for you, baby. Let's
My
go.
man. Shout out my guy Sid.
Every afternoon.